Ooh, and hello and welcome to Uptown Tonight. I got to get my head away from our WeFest advertisement. That's no good. No bueno whatsoever. It is June 29th of 2022. It was a great day. Hope everyone else had a great day out there. This is the Uptown Tonight Podcast, the FM Area's weekly podcast. And today we have Chad Heille with us. Right over there, so he's getting himself untangled with our big old mess of duct tape production, but that's all right. So best thing you can do for us today is subscribe, like, comment, do all that fun stuff. If you're out there live watching us on Wednesday evenings, you definitely can check or join the conversation in the live chat. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to ask Chad, if you're out in the live chats, definitely chat us up, and we'll definitely try to get it on in. Now, first thing we always do is we got to talk about us because, you know, we're important too sometimes. And we have Sarah over here filling on in for Cito. There's the Piggers. Yep. And she's going to click us on over to what we were doing last weekend in our weekend fun stuff.
Oh, no. Give me a minute.
Yep, we're still training her in. She's doing just fine. Oh, yes, and we're playing at the WeFest there August 3rd along with LV Shane and John Cochran right there on the big old stage. And oh, yes, and thank you. I always have to put this up to remind me. Is that a long time ago, it feels like, we had Peter Niblok on for the second time, and we have our JoJo Mayer DVD giveaway because this is the DVD that that Peter and I bonded over while we're hanging out at the Best Buy. And basically, maybe even Chad wants to try for it here.
Yeah,
we'll get him on live. Basically, all you have to do is guess what drum set Peter bought first. His first ever drum set that Peter ever bought. Now, we're going to tell you again, Peter is around, he's definitely in the, I don't know if it's full boomer age, but he's definitely up there. So, kind of a limited amount of drum set companies. Maybe we give Chad a shot at this. Put Chad's video on.
How old a guy is he?
Dun, 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 dun. I want to say almost 70. Slingerland. So close. Not quite.
Worth a shot.
Yes, it was. I always keep saying it's like one of 5 companies that most people know.
There wasn't many.
Yep. But, it was swing and a miss. Maybe we'll give him another shot at the very end there. Oh, yes, we got our Uptown t-shirts. They'll be coming out here in the next few weeks. So if you're looking for an Uptown t-shirt, definitely hit us up. We will definitely get one for you. And what's next? Oh, we got Zeebies. That's my puppy when he was about a year ago. Now he's more of a monster. And then last weekend, we're at Murphy's Pub last weekend, and I pulled out a new snare drum. This is actually my boy's snare drum. It is a Slingerland. This one is. And I usually use what I call my number one, a 6.5 by 14 free-floating maple, and that thing is just loud as, yeah. So that little place, we all decided that maybe we should try something a little different, so I just pulled the first one I could find that was actually, working. So there you go, D-Man. Used your drum. Worked great, especially in that little room. It was pretty awesome. Next one. And I didn't get any photos of us at Mayville on the street dance, so I just had to put up a little ad. So just to remind myself, it was a great time. That was one of the best ones that we had this year. It was a lot of fun. And then for the past few days, Pigs made me, no, she didn't make me. We had orientation for the old Piggers here at South Dakota State University in Brookings, so I got to go hang out in South Dakota for the past few days. Weather was great. The people were really nice. We got her signed up. She's got her card. She's got everything ready to go. Now we just got to wait until August, and then I get the house to myself. So that's all I did for this past weekend. Yep, no Mustang Minute this time or anything, but yeah. Had things going on. Things to do. But let's get to Chad. Enough about me. How you doing, Chad?
I'm good.
It's been a while since we've talked in person.
Quite a while.
We're trying to figure this out. We're pushing 2 decades here, I think.
Pretty close.
It'd be, if not on there, it'd be right around that area. So how have you been, man? How have you been?
Good. Not
Just
too shabby.
Just out doing your thing?
Yep.
So let's hear a little bit about Chad. Where'd Chad come from?
I grown up in the Fargo Moorhead area. Went to school in South Fargo till about 4th grade. Then we moved to West Fargo.
Southie, then out to West.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So you graduated from West?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
West Fargo Community High.
Ah.
where all the drug addicts and pregnant girls ended up. Yeah, that's where I graduated.
Okay. And what'd you do in high school then besides stay out of trouble?
I don't know. I was a terrible student, like a lot of people probably.
Yeah.
Geez, not much worth a mention. A lot of R-rated stuff.
Okay.
You know, drugs and alcohol, all that bullshit. Started playing music in high school, so that was cool.
There we go. Around when?
I must have been about 15 before I finally got the money together to buy a bass guitar.
Okay.
It was years for quite a few years. I was they used to have a Schmidt's Music out in the mall.
Oh, I remember that. Yes,
kind of kitty corner across from Musicland.
Yes.
And I'd always end up there looking at. I think they had a green Stratocaster out there that I was really hot for. And then my parents found out that it's really expensive. You know, it never dawned on anyone to like maybe hit up a pawn shop for a cheap guitar. So I bugged them for quite a few years, and my dad was a bit of a hard ass, so you know, get a job and buy it yourself. So that's what I did.
You remember how much that first one was?
Oh God, that was a piece of junk too. It was kind of a package deal out at Marguerite's. Oh, what was it? I don't even remember the make of it, but literally just some cheap piece of garbage made out of plywood. You could take your fingernail and like right into the finish on it. Yeah, it was pretty cheap. And then you got like I think I got like a little 15-watt Fender combo for like $280 or something.
Got you going.
Yeah, it got me going. But I thought it was great. And then it was a short time after that. I think I bought a Kramer, if I'm not mistaken, which was also kind of a piece of shit too. But you know, you upgrade each time.
Exactly.
Hopefully, it gets a little better. But yeah, that's how I got started.
So how you just always wanted to play guitar, or is that just one of those things that just kind of fell in your lap?
I just wanted to play, and it didn't really, like, I wasn't married to any, or wasn't like, I didn't gravitate to guitar or bass or drums necessarily. I remember having a buddy in high school who played guitar. So I thought, well, if we're going to start a band, I better try bass, right? Yeah, that's how that played out. But it really could have been anything, you know, not, I think my mom had mentioned, well, why don't you get into band? Your sister's in band, you know. She was playing a clarinet or something. Like, I'm not going to play the clarinet or the tuba or whatever.
Did you see Chad playing that?
Yeah. Her idea of band and mine were like totally different, right? So, yeah, and that's what got me going.
Well, that's cool. So what did you do after you got the guitar? Did you just start, because I know back then we didn't have the YouTubes and all that fun stuff. Because I'm going to guess you're around the same age as I am, maybe a little younger. I'll give you that.
I'm 51.
Yeah, we're about the same age.
We're about the same?
Yeah. So we didn't have YouTubes and all that fun stuff. You know, you're just grabbing the Guitar Worlds and just going through?
Yeah,
or
I mean,
you taking lessons?
Well, I did take lessons from, there was a substitute teacher that I had one year, and she would hear me talking about music and whatnot. She said, oh, my son goes to MSU, and he's started doing lessons now, private lessons. His name was Mitch Triplett, and he would play. Remember Mike Coates had all the guitar blowouts at the MSU Underground?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, and we'd go and see those all the time. I had probably seen him a couple times already. And got his number, called him up, took lessons for about a summer, and then I think he was getting ready to graduate school or something, so those kind of came to a screaming halt. And that was enough to kind of get me going. I really just wanted to, you know, I liked learning the stuff. So while I was learning some music theory, I guess, from him, in my spare time all day long, I was just playing along to records. Like, that's where a lot of people learn.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're first learning, that's like invaluable, I think, just playing along to records.
Exactly. So you're trying to learn all these by rote, just by listening to them, figuring it out?
Just earing them off of the records.
Yeah, I wish I would have done something
Which
like
is tedious as fuck when you've got a turntable and, you know what I mean? you got to lift the needle and go back and get that one part, right, that you're hung up on. But now with YouTube, like, that's all I use YouTube for at all, is like drum lessons and stuff, because you can get it all off of YouTube.
Oh, exactly. Once I came out and you just started going through all the materials, like, how the hell did we live without this? How did we even get to where we were at?
I think there's all the curriculum there if you found it and arranged it, like you would find, say, I've never went to school for music, but I think it's all right there on YouTube.
It
probably.
is. It's got to be. It's got to be. There's so much stuff.
Yeah. So just like that, and then when you're a kid and you're like really hustling away doing it, you kind of you feel like you're learning quick, and then started putting up ads at Marguerite's and Beehive. Remember Beehive Music?
Oh, of yours?
Yeah, they just had a bulletin board. You just put a card up there and you'd get a hold of people and jam, and most of the time it didn't work out.
The analog Facebook,
Yeah, pretty much, right?
So what were the first few songs that you learned fully?
A lot of Kiss, a lot of AC/DC, easy stuff that I could wrap my head around.
Oh, yeah? You got to start it.
Then, so at that time, it was kind of fun because in real time, heavy music was really happening, and it was all, like I say, happening in real time. So I'd find Slayer and Venom and Coroner and just really obscure stuff that was coming out.
And you got to show your sweatshirt, the Crowbar sweatshirt.
Yep.
I was jealous when I saw that when you walked in. It's like, oh, man.
Those guys came a little bit later, but stuff was coming out, and I was finding not only learning how to play music, but all the stuff that I was getting turned on to was like just like fresh off the press. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There were a couple of record stores in towns that would have a import section, right? So all the heavy stuff was an import. Yeah, it was great. Totally different than how it is nowadays, but yeah.
I used to work at one of those record stores that had the import section. But the guy was kind of shady. But, you got a lot of that stuff that you would never, ever hear, ever. I don't even know if YouTube would have some of this stuff on there. So
some of that stuff's probably long out of print. I don't even know. Yeah.
Just really obscure things that, just the nerds wanted to get a hold of. Like me. I remember spending $45 and never saw those things.
I would spend all my money in some of those stores. There was a Budget Tapes and Records was really good.
Oh, Budget, yep.
Yep. Mothers, of course. How many Mothers were there in town at one time? Like 3, I think.
I think at the Pinnacle.
Yep.
Had to have been.
There was that stupid Music Land.
Yep.
Not so much of an import section, but they'd get some good stuff. Yeah.
Disc and Tape, which turned to Discontent.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And I worked at Disco Round, if you remember that damn thing.
Disco Round. Yep. I used to go there a lot.
Basically the pawn shop of CDs. Yeah.
Yep. I used to trade a lot of CDs there when I'd get broke.
Good place to do it. They're always buying.
Yep. Now you can't give CDs away.
Nope.
Nope.
At the thrift stores, 4 for $1. There you go.
Yep.
You want to get your record collection up. But you don't even have to. You just go to the YouTubes and just find everything you're looking for.
Yep.
But now we're just sounding like old crotchety men, which, that kind of happens sometimes.
That's pretty, that's true.
So first bands you're putting together. Who are you playing with?
Me and that friend of mine from high school, we would get together with drummers here and there, and it wouldn't last long. We never got going long enough to do any shows per se.
No.
We were just kind of learning how to play with people, and I jammed with a bunch of people. I met the guys in Rotten Gramma when I was in high school from an ad, and actually,
greatest names.
It's the worst name.
Oh,
my
it's
God.
awesome. Oh, because I want to switch it over to Fat Grandmas. I think that would just be
the drummer. Pete Dean was his name. He's an older guy. I don't even know if he's still around or not, but he had a unhealthy obsession with King Diamond. So it must have been. Was it them? Which one was it? Which one featured the old lady in the wheelchair? Them? Was that the record?
I really couldn't tell.
Yeah, it was one of those.
We need Nate Peeler. For that stuff.
Right. It was one of those first few King Diamond records. So that's kind of where he thought the name up, and you couldn't get him to change it. So whatever. Yeah, I met those guys in high school, jammed with them a little bit. Ended up getting a job at the Forum where Pete worked, and then started playing with him a short time after that. And did mostly covers of all the metal stuff that was current at the time. And
since we're talking about Rotten Gramma, we have a video of you on there. Should we put
all
that
right.
up?
Yeah, sure. See what that's all about.
We can definitely talk over the top of it as well. So, yep, go on down. Let's see. I think it's one of the first ones. There you go. Yep.
That is at the Moose Lodge, the old Moose Lodge.
Moose Lodge.
Nope, my bad. That's Exit 99.
I was going to say this. It looks so familiar, like Exit 99.
You know what's really bad about this?
I might have been in the crowd here.
Oh, really? The video isn't sunk up with the. I think something in a transfer, because this was probably shot on an old VHS camcorder. The video isn't sunk up with the audio.
It's okay.
That's fine.
Just remember all those? You had the Exit 99, the Purple Pickle.
Yep.
And something else. Sneakers? Am I thinking of that right?
Yeah, where was that at?
I think that was right over here. A couple blocks from here.
Oh, wow.
We're doing like the garage bar now.
There was a DIY center right on Broadway, which years later turned into billiards.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which they had shows at there, too.
See, that's a mosh pit.
There was a DIY center right on Main Avenue, too, off of Broadway. Yeah, pretty sure there was.
Sorry, I'm watching the
No,
mosh
that's
pit.
fine.
Like, I got to find me.
There was a kid, I forget his name, used to do backflips off the stage.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
I'm surprised they let him do that. He breaks his neck and sues the joint. And then,
Yeah, that's probably why it went down.
yeah. I mean, they did have problems like that there. There were kids sneaking booze in.
Well, of course.
You know, it was an all-ages thing. But Fargo's got a long history of underage venues going down the toilet. So, for one reason or another.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate. We always keep thinking, like, what if we brought up another one? And like, there's reasons why they went down in the first place.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's all legal.
Red Raven, I think they're closing too. That's an all-ages
Yes,
club, yeah.
that's right. I forgot to write that in my notes.
Yep. I just heard that a couple weeks ago. From somebody.
Something like they just got a new landlord. Someone just bought the building and then just won't renew the lease or something.
Yep.
So they're looking
Something
for
like
a
that.
place. So if anyone out there knows a place that the Red Raven can reside back into, please get a hold of them or us, and we'll get a hold of them for you or whatever else. But no, we got to get them a new place to go, because that's where all the new bands are coming from. That's where they start and cut their teeth. And you're definitely not going up to you're just not getting to many venues unless till you've proven yourself, and those are one of the proving grounds out there.
A lot of them, they might be afraid to do all ages shows. I think when for a short time they were doing like matinees at the aquarium.
Yep.
On a Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
But I think the guy who was booking those is now over working for Jade. Jack Stenerson, I think.
Oh, okay. So I just remember back in the day when we were starting off, at least
They were just all ages venues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you had those, and you could do like the Frisky Goat, and you can play stuff
Sure.
like that, and
Fargo VFW basement.
Yeah, then it's basically a pay to play type thing, but then you just try to recoup your money at the
Yep.
door. But I forgot my train of thought.
Underage venues.
Underage.
All age.
Oh, that's what it was. Is that we're getting the metal scene going here, just so it actually could play metal in a venue.
Yeah.
I was like, you couldn't go to Kirby's and just play metal and all that stuff. They wouldn't book you. And we started getting in at the First Avenue on Sunday afternoons. They had let us in there and
Yep.
do stuff, and we'd pack on about 4 or 5 bands, and we'd start playing out.
I
at a
forgot
place
about
like that.
First Ave. Yep.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Okay, so you're playing with a couple of your friends going on along, and then what happened? How'd you end up playing drums, of all things?
Let's see.
Being a Neanderthal.
I did that with Rotten Gramma for a few years. The show that you had up there was dated
I think it was 92. It said on there.
92. That might have been one of the last times I played with them, I think.
Oh, wow.
I was kind of not into the like ferocious fast stuff anymore. I was kind of over it or whatever. Just wanted to do something different. I wanted to do all originals and kind of start my own band.
Gotcha.
So had a roommate. It was a buddy that I knew from high school, and we started writing some stuff. Walked into so let's find a drummer, right? We ran into a lot of guys at the bar that I knew for a while, and I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but musicians are kind of drunk and irresponsible most of the time. Yeah.
What?
So that proved to be a problem.
Get out.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with this?
Market research. So we happened to go. I knew Dave. So another good buddy of mine was living with Dave and his family. He got kicked out, and Dave's brother moved out, and this mutual friend of ours, Brad, Dave's parents are really cool, and they let him move in. So I think I knew Dave. I might have sat down and watched him play drums in somebody's basement or some shit. Well, he was playing, doing some fill-ins for Submarine, and we went to the. I think it was a parlor show at the Bowler.
Okay.
Or the Elks.
Okay.
Or some shit.
The Bowler.
Me and my roommate at the time. And we were getting hammered at the bar, and he was underage. So he finished up. He said, well, we'd like to kind of maybe talk to you about maybe doing something. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm going to load my gear, and then you can meet me at my place. And I knew where he lived. So we drove and met him at his house, and probably talked his ear off, drunk as we were, for probably a few hours, and couldn't find a place to rehearse. That's the other problem too. There's venues you can't find a venue to play at. Well, you can't find somebody that'll rent you a room.
No.
I mean, maybe the drummer has a house in the basement and the neighbors are cool, but outside of that, man, it still is. It's hard to find a place to rehearse. So we looked for probably a year. And in the meantime, we'd get together at our apartment, and just at a low volume, Dave would bring a practice pad, and he'd like notate stuff and write it out, and songs would kind of come together that way. And then we finally found a spot and started writing songs, put an ad up, got a hold of, I think Bertrand came later. No, I'm trying to remember the timeline. It's a while ago.
Yeah.
So we got a hold of Shane, and he was just doing vocals. Got a hold. I think Nate answered the ad last. He was the last piece of the puzzle or whatever.
Nate Peeler, what was he, 15?
15. Is it 15? I think.
Just fresh, yeah.
Yep. His dad dropped him off to the audition.
His dad was cool shit.
His dad was a really good guy.
Yeah.
So, he dropped him off, and we jammed, and everybody got along good, and then we had to, we played some shows as a, what would that be, a 4-piece? And then we had to boot the other guitar player. He had a alcohol problem.
What?
Yeah. He was responsible.
Said
Yeah.
No.
Crazy talk. So we got rid of him, and then Shane was a guitar player, and he could play and sing, so we tried that out for a while. And we're doing our thing. I think we got out of town a little bit and played. Started talking about doing a recording, and then we had to get rid of Nate. And he's like 17 maybe. He had everything else going on at the time but showing up for rehearsals. I get it. When I was a kid, I wanted to hang out and shit too. But anyway, so then we went at it as a 3-piece. Did a recording with Jim Zesby in the basement of Vinyl Connection.
Yep.
Well, actually, it was right next to Vinyl Connection was the guy on the corner, and he sold stereos.
Yeah.
Right? I forget the name of his store.
I'm trying to think. He was the guy that also would like transfer your
Yeah.
media for it.
Yep. Well, right in the basement was a bunch of space that Zesby had down there, and he ran Super Asbestos was the name of his record label. He had a couple of mostly punk bands on it. Yeah, so we recorded down there with him. And then Dave started doing some stuff with SOP, and I think I don't know if he liked being in SOP more, or I don't know. You can't really juggle two bands like that.
It gets to be,
yeah. He went off and did that, and I think they recorded a bunch.
But now here, we still haven't said the name of the band. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh.
That's my favorite sweatshirt of all fucking time. I wish I could find
it is
one
Below.
again. Yes.
Yeah, that was the name of it.
Below. Oh, man. You guys were so
I told that
much
entire
fun.
story without telling you the name of the
Yes.
band.
Below. They were so much fun to watch. I mean, Dave was telling me, the philosophy is being the slowest, heaviest band out there. And I don't think any other drummer in town could have pulled off what you guys were doing there.
That was totally the idea at the time.
Yeah, it was just how solid you guys played at the same time, and the grind you pulled off on there. I mean, it didn't let you go. It wasn't boring by any means whatsoever. It was awesome.
Looking back on it, I always think that maybe it was a little boring, because that was kind of the idea, playing Death and Slayer covers in that other band, and then 2 years later, it was just the complete opposite. Right?
Got to challenge yourself.
I mean, there was some different influence. Everybody brought something different to the table, but yeah, that was kind of the idea. It was excruciatingly slow, really heavy stuff. We tuned down 2 full steps. Wasn't a lot of people doing that at the time.
Nope.
We never had a problem finding bands to play with. There was a lot of cool guys in town. But I never felt like there was another band that was like a total fit.
No.
Mixed bills are cool, but we never had another band that sounded similarly, so maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe Crowbar.
Yeah, right? That was one of the blueprint bands for me, at least, like Black Sabbath and Grief and Crowbar and a lot of New Orleans stuff, Tungsten, Confessor. Just a bunch of shit that nobody listening to this is probably who? Confessor? What the fuck is that? But yeah, that was kind of the blueprint, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Never did anything with the recording. Like I said, the band kind of petered out, but
which is unfortunate, but that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's how it goes. You kind of roll the dice, and
Do you still have the recordings for that?
I do. Dave's probably got some too.
Okay.
We got it finished. I think we spent 2 weeks with Jim Zesby recording in his basement there, and never did send it off to get properly mastered. But nowadays you can kind of plug that into YouTube or Pro Tools or something, and they've got little onboard mastering suites. Boom, you can kind of shit one out pretty good. So that's all it would take. But I haven't listened to that in a long time, so.
Might have to go reminisce tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I've got it in a box somewhere.
Someplace.
Yeah, covered in cobwebs.
So what happened after Below then? It's it petered out and you're just floating now, or?
I ended up still just kind of writing stuff on my own, and had a room, a newly acquired room, the room that we did Below out of for 5-6 years. Really.
Oh, is that old...
second floor there?
Yeah.
Fabricators Unlimited.
That's what it was. That warehouse thing.
Yeah.
As Dave and I used to hang out there at nights all the time.
On the second floor?
I don't know what.
Well, we had a room.
You just brought me in there.
We had a room that was decent, and we were just super stoked. We got a room on the first floor, and some friends of ours had a room upstairs. 20-foot ceiling. I can't remember the square foot.
That.
Yep,
yeah.
That was the room upstairs. Hardwood floor.
Yep.
It would have been an excellent like a live drum room because it sounded so good. They had a new landlord, just wasn't cool with bands being in there. We were one of 3 or 4 bands, so he booted all the bands. We found another spot, just a little tiny shitty room. Split the rent between 6-7 guys and kind of made it work. So I just keep writing stuff on my own there. Shane Bertrand was there.
Yep.
We got together a handful of songs. I think we recorded at MSU. His girlfriend at the time was finishing up her senior year there, and got us in there, and just kept writing stuff and kind of cataloging it, keeping it in my back pocket for whatever. There was a couple years there where we're getting really hard to find like-minded people to jam with. So I just bought. I had a windfall with some. Well, it was a tax return, and then my boss at the art museum was really cool. The building that the art museum owned across the parking lot, he let a few of us that worked there have really cheap rent. So I bought some recording gear, bought a drum kit, bought some guitar gear, amps and guitars and shit, and said, well, fuck it, I'll just record all this stuff myself. And I might have had Bertrand and Dave, just some songs that I wrote, have those guys sit in and we recorded. But then, like I said, there was a 2-year period where it was getting really tough finding people to play with. And then I had an ad up at the New Marguerites building across on the other side of the interstate.
Yep. A few blocks from here, yes.
Yep. Paul Vidstead was working there doing repairs. And I'm like, hey, if I just bought a drum kit. If you know anybody that wants to, I kind of put a feeler out, and he talked to everybody that came in there. So a friend of his, Ryan Gron, walked in. He was actually in Submarine when Dave was playing with him. I don't know if you ever met Ryan Gron.
I vaguely know
Sure.
the name. It does.
He had been around for a long time around town, played in a lot of the Fargo punk bands. And most of them, honestly, I think there was only about 6 guys in it. Playing in all those bands. There's only like 6 dudes, right?
Cross-pollination.
Yep. It was a real incestuous thing. But so Paul said, yeah, here's Ryan's number. He showed some interest. So he and I got together, and we were writing songs. And, well, we need somebody to play bass and or a singer or somebody to do both or whatever. So he was friends with Aaron Esterby. They both hung out at Ralph's, and got Aaron in the mix, and it kind of took off from there. That was Egypt, right?
Okay.
And we did that for about a year and a half, playing as much as we could, got out of town even, made a demo in this tiny little... We had about this much space for a full band.
Oh, I couldn't tell you how many times I played in this room.
Right? I mean, you can make do. You can do it in a fucking phone booth if you have to, so, real tight quarters, and got that demo, banged it out. There was a website at the time. I'm having trouble thinking the name of it now. But they had an online store, all it's heavy, and a record label. And the guy ran the whole thing, right? Sent him some copies of the demo, and he said, yeah, I'd be happy to include these as like freebies with orders. I'm like, yeah, sure. We weren't getting any money, but I guess it's getting out there, and that's kind of like some good free promotion.
A little distribution, yeah.
Band broke up, and it must have been 3 years later. Found out a guy from Norway who was a transplant going to UND for school, of all places, would come down to Ralph's for shows, and he liked the band. And he had a little record label. It was mostly really grim black metal shit.
Okay.
Like, I looked at the website, like, really? This guy wants to put out an Egypt record? We just stuck out like a sore thumb. Anyway, he put it out, did a short run on vinyl, and while the band was inactive, it kind of like marinated, and people really dug it, which is cool. Then... Again, I probably don't have the timeline totally right, but it must have been about 2009. So Ralph's had closed down, and they were doing anniversary shows.
Yeah, I remember.
Right?
Those. Yep.
And then they'd gather some bands together that were popular at Ralph's or whatever. Chris Hennon, who was booking at the aquarium, asked us if we wanted to do one. So we the 3 of us got together and rehearsed enough to kind of do the show, and then we met up and thought, hey, we had a bunch of material we never did. You want to do another record? And we did. So the first guy that we got to do it for us, a bit of a flake, good guy but not super reliable. That didn't work out, so I just called Neil Stein.
Yeah, I see him on a couple of videos when I was posting them
up. So he was down to record it, and I think he had already finished up school at MSU, or had just finished it up, and then was working there. So it worked out really good. we acquired some new space, the space that I'm still at. You'd probably been there, too. Nine Eyes always had a room over there, kind of in Moorhead Industrial Park.
Oh, that's for my dad. I won't talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe there was some shenanigans that went down
that was
in that room.
right. Well,
I forget what they all called it.
I don't remember the space. I remember we were supposed to. We just moved in because we were rehearsing out of my basement, not Nine Eyes, but
Right.
0 Hour was at the time, and I was leaving to go do a rehearsal night. I won't talk about it, but someone in the room here was just born, and yeah, I got kneecapped on the whole deal. So my drums stayed over there for a while without me.
Sure. They had a lot of bands playing over there in that room. I rented the room there for a short time too with Nine Eyes and split rent. Well, I was paying for rent. They weren't paying for anything.
Yeah, it's usually how it fucking works.
They had a problem with paying rent, I guess, and that's what got them kicked out. Well, John, who I've known for quite a few years, owns the business. He moved me into another room, which worked out great. I got a control room, and I got a main room. I've got some other hallways and stuff for isolation, and we've been recording stuff there for quite a number of years now. We did the Become the Sun, which would have been the first full length that Egypt did. It was a double record. It was all the material that we didn't get to the first time around.
Yep.
Pumped that out. Well, let me back up. We had plans to play more shows and record, and about halfway through the recording, Ryan wasn't working out, so we kind of we got rid of him and asked Neil to play on the record as well as record it, which he's really good. He didn't have a problem learning the songs, and he did it. So
Neil, I got to get you on the podcast.
yeah, he's.
I haven't talked to him for a while.
That guy's super rad.
Yep.
So let's play some more shows, and asked him to join the band, and we got around playing quite a bit, and then offers for Europe came in, and we're like, yeah, right. If you can get us over there, sure, that'd be great. But it's pretty expensive. And then finally, after about the third offer, we just bit the bullet and kind of pulled our money together and got over there the first time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, and then another one, and it was 3 years that we made it over there. So, excuse me, 3 years. 3 years in a row we made it over there. We did Become the Sun. We did a split with a band from Texas called Wofat, Endless Flight, and Cracks and Lines. Yeah, that's how that worked out.
Jeez, they got a lot of shit going on here.
Yeah, we stayed really busy.
But here, let's get to some of your photos. But first, I got to get to our weekend report here. So, Cito, if you're here, this would be him. You want to be part of this too? I just read out the cue cards. You want to do some of these?
Sure.
Sure.
Cue cards to read off of.
I'll get the first one here. You can do the second one. So we're out of town. We're at the Laughing Sun Brewery. Oh, out in Bismarck, Mandan. We have Reverend's Roadshow with High Fidelity? Whatever.
Can you do these while I go to the bathroom?
We can certainly do that as well. All right. I'll even stand up. This will be a one for me. Right upstairs and then to your left. Then we got Throw Out Bone on Friday the 1st and Mooncat Saturday the 2nd on that. See, we're going to the Sandbar now in Detroit Lakes, and we got Tyler Steinley out there, and then the Roadhouse, Lake Park. Ooh, Santa, Sunday the 3rd. Uptown, I don't know who they are. We'll be playing out there. And then Zorba's in Detroit Lakes, Boogie Nights, along with, Gina Powers and all those people. And I got to say again, congratulations to Gina Powers. Got an exclusive recording artist deal going on with the Humont International label. I saw that was just posted, so congratulations there. Gina, and let's keep on moving. Zorba's, Park Rapids. We got Mad Shot Scott Trio will be out there on Friday. And then Earnhardt in Minnesota on the 4th of July. A street dance brought to you by us at Uptown. All right, now we're going downtown. Dempsey's open mic night with Gina Powers again on Thursday. Then we have Mixed Theory on Friday. The Aquarium, we have Mercy and Friends this Thursday. And obviously not much going on over the July 4th weekend in the Aquarium. And then DCR, we have our open mic night with Travis Neros. Get on out there tomorrow night. Downtown, we have the Front Street Tap Room with Vinyl and Dino this Thursday. And then next Monday with Travis Neros again, we have an open mic night. Side Street, we have Live Voltage, an AC/DC tribute band going on tomorrow night, Thursday, the 30th. The Tailgaters, we got the special blend band on Thursday, the 30th tomorrow as well. And then the Red Raven has a nice one going on tomorrow night with Emma Christensen, Darian Clark, Tori Joy. We were talking about her before we even got started here. And Gradients, good friends of ours, on Thursday, the 30th. Now we hit down our downtown acoustic corner. See, tomorrow night we got a ton of acoustic stuff going on. Let's see, the Crop Dusters will be at Pub West. We got Jack Winders at the 701 On the Roof. We have the Matt Downer at the Spicy Pie. Mick Klein's at the Silver Spike. Michael Pinks at the Grotto. Drake Immiger. Gamer. I'm sure I'm destroying that name. Sorry there, Drake. At the Fargo Brewing Company, that was Wayne J. MacArthur at Hooligans. Matt Ockery will be at the Junkyard Brewing. We got Eric Rattan at the Red House Red House. Hi. Someone's got some Hendrix on his mind. Redhead Temp House, and then Pepper Ashmore at the Sons of Norway on Friday. Jim White will be hanging out at the Oxbow Country Club. And then we're going uptown here. You want to take a few of these there, Chad?
Yeah, what is that? Rhyme or Reason at the Windbreak with Fourth Wave.
On Friday.
Yep, Thursday and Friday. Shooting Star in Monoman is, I got a glare there. Raquel and the Wildflowers. Mustang Lounge Friday and Saturday.
There we go.
First and second. Attack Center, you got Semi-Charmed Life. Wednesday the 29th.
Yes, they'll be happening at 8 o'clock. We're literally, Sarah and I are heading out there right after the podcast to go hang out with them. Let's see. We had Donnie on here. Actually, Donnie and Sam. Lose Sam's name for a second. Donnie and Sam on the podcast a couple weeks ago. So they're just getting going. This is their first book show. They actually played last weekend, opening up for Johnny Holmes Band. So excited to go see them live. So we're gonna get on out there. Free show, 8 o'clock. Get out to the TAC tonight. Sorry.
Jasper Theater, you got Dan Brecky Wednesday and Thursday, the 29th and 30th.
There you go. And if you haven't seen Dan Brecky play, a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. And we're back to out of town. So there's our weekly report for this week. All right, let's get to a bunch of photos here because I mean,
sure.
You're talking about doing all this international stuff, and I saw a ton of you guys playing. So I think I got all of your
That's the aquarium,
logos going here too.
I believe.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's at the aquarium. It's either at the aquarium or maybe in Mankato at the What's Up.
And which group is this? See, we should have like a little dinger on there. So 1, 2, 3, or 4 Egypt.
This is Egypt Mark II. That's with Neil.
Okay.
If you could find one from the first go around in 2004 with Ryan, it would be a miracle to find something, a photo.
Someone's got to have one.
Somebody's probably got some somewhere.
On their flip phone someplace.
Yeah, a fucking flip phone. That might be in Austria or Germany.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
So how'd they treat you out there? Like the language barrier and all that other fun stuff?
English is like a second language at most countries.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
they teach it in school mostly. Yeah, like Spanish and French over here. It's a lot of an elective. Like everybody knows English over there for the most part, and they treat you like, you're just some dirtbags from Fargo, North Dakota. But they really roll out the red carpet for you. It's the best. It's really awesome.
Man. I want to do that one day.
That is at the Electric Ballroom in Camden. That was the...
that place is packed.
Yep. That was Asteroid, Crowbar, and Corrosion of Conformity, and Egypt. We got to open the show.
What?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Keep going. I'm getting jealous here.
That is in France somewhere. I think it's Nantes. It's called. They got a really nice boardwalk on a river there, and that's the club. And I forget what it was called. Again, another super all day long. These two French guys were like making us food, and it was like having a gourmet dinner, and it was super nice out. That was unseasonably hot everywhere in Europe that year. And here's the thing, nobody uses ice over there for anything. Like for your drink or something, no, you're going to get warm water, kind of warm beer, depending on where you're at.
Okay.
And no air conditioning at all anywhere, except for really nice hotels. So it was scalding hot. That's what, looking at that picture, that's what it reminds me of. Just sweltering hot it was all day long. And then hot rock coming out your ear holes.
Yes.
That was opening for Ghost at the Civic.
Ghost?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a good one, too. That was Doomed and Stoned. That was in Germany. The, I don't know if you can see on that pic, but that was the most insane drum monitor I've ever had in my life. It was actually like it was two 15s, like 5 of them, kind of in a semicircle right behind you.
Say what?
Yeah, dude, that was the it wasn't even a wedge monitor. That was like just like a little cave.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
Sounded really good.
The worst one, well, I can't say the worst one. The biggest one I ever had was
They're all the worst, right? Back there, you don't get
oh
shit
God.
for a drum
I call
monitor.
it the Bat Cave. It sucks. But it was down playing 7th Street Entry, and they'd have basically an SP4 was
that
your
place is a
monitor.
bit of a dump.
Yep. But it was like 2 12s in that horn. That guy just
Yeah.
blasted my face off of that thing.
That's nonce again, I think. Again with nonce, I think.
Still, all the lighting and all that.
I'm going by the lighting. I'm not super sure that's where.
So
it's...
basically, you're on like a little tour going through all that stuff. How'd all this work?
Oh yeah. Like I said, Aaron was kind of doing the social media for us on Facebook. Me and Neil weren't even on Facebook at the time.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, well, so there's a guy in Europe says we should totally come there and tour. And we're like, yeah. Yeah, we'd do that. Is he gonna pay for it? Like, well, no. But after a few offers that would come in, we're like, well, you know what? Fuck it. And I think Aaron put it the first trip on his card. Well, the airfare.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just make sure you got merch and stuff. So we'd have a booking agent over there. His name was Jerome. He was Dutch, and he had all the connections and had all the knew all the talent buyers, and he set it up. Yeah, we made it to like 15 or 16 countries we had been to over there.
Jesus.
In 3 years, we'd go to the same places. A few of those venues we had been at, 3 times. So.
Oh, look at that! Is that 26 or 28?
30.
30.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
That's a Gypsy Wizard Queen show at the aquarium.
Fucking
That's a drum kit I got bored during COVID and just got on Reverb and like pieced it out. It took about 8 months, but I finally got all the pieces. Got the drum at Drummer's Journey.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
What kind of shells are those then? Or?
The kick is a Ludwig from dated at about 59.
Okay.
The tom up front, Trevor at Drummer's Journey sold me. That's a Slingerland. That's about 61. And then you can't see it behind the kick, but there's a 20-inch floor tom. And that's also a Slingerland dated at about the late 50s, early 60s.
That's awesome. Oh, my God.
And then I just rewrapped them.
Nice silver sparkle.
Yep. That's just a online poster from, we opened for I Hate God a couple months back here
I Hate
at the
God.
aquarium.
I saw them open up for Pantera a million years ago.
That was the second time I opened up for I Hate God.
Really?
The other time was in Germany.
Germany.
I have a vague recollection of it. Pretty hammered.
But you were there.
Yeah. Oh, that's Freak Valley Festival in Germany. That was a shot from a stage when we were done.
Oh, that's the Freak Valley.
Yep.
Thing. Okay. You got a video of that, too.
Yep, there are some videos for that on the YouTubes.
I love that photo.
I don't know where that. I think that's at the Triple Rock in Minneapolis.
Pure primal.
I'm
Pig says you need to have some wings on. behind
I'm
you.
super photogenic. Jellyfish. Black and white's probably better than color.
That is beautiful. Let's get to a couple of these videos. Let's just pick out a few of them. So I got them all up here. So we have El Supremo with Ghost, or The Ghost.
Oh, yeah, that's just a live stream we did from the rehearsal room.
I haven't seen the El Supremo yet.
Do you know Chris Gould?
I know the name.
Yep. Chris plays in Jacked Up. What's that other band? That's like a 12-piece. He's been with them for Post-Traumatic Funk Syndrome.
Oh, okay.
And God, if only he were here. He's in like 5 bands currently, or some ridiculous shit. So that's him on keys. We were lucky enough to have him come on board. That guy is super musical. Just to like be writing stuff with him and be in the room, I kind of hope by osmosis some of that wears off. Like when you're hanging out with somebody that good, you hope that you kind of pick some stuff up. That's Cam. You know Cam.
Yep.
He's wearing a cap inside currently for people who are listening but can't see it. I don't know why he's doing that, but
And of course, Mr. Stein.
Yep.
With his signature. I don't know what you call that. It's kind of a stare he does.
yeah, this was kind of right in the middle of COVID. We noticed a lot of bands were doing, nobody was out there playing, so a lot of bands would just do live streams. So we thought we'd do it, and maybe not a live stream so much, but it was with it was a live recording, and then we just threw it on the page or whatever. So less of a live stream and just like a jam room recording, I guess. I don't know.
Cool. What do we got here? Egypt, Kumanova?
Oh, this is in Macedonia.
Oh, you know.
I didn't even know there was a place called Macedonia anymore. Yeah, that was like I think that's what like an Eastern European version of like a shopping complex. So it was on the 2nd floor, and the whole place is just, it was like a cell block. It's just a big cement building with windows in it.
Oh my God.
There's windows behind the drums there. And we showed up, and everybody's tired and hungover and really pissy when we saw the size of the room. And then they piled way too many people in there. And it's Macedonia, and they were right in the middle of like civil war and stuff. There were people protesting up and down the streets, and there's a building right next to the building the venue was in had been bombed out.
Jeez.
Yeah. So these, so
you can't make these stories up.
no, and so obviously people were like kind of rabid for entertainment, and they all knew the songs and shit. It was super great. We were, like I said, we were all pissy, and then felt like assholes. At least I did, like an asshole afterwards. Like people were super into it and super gracious, and it was great. Yeah, super rad. And the talent buyer there was Russian, and he looked like a Russian mafia guy with the tracksuit and shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, really cool guy though. I forget his name, but
Oh, that's good.
Freak Valley. All right.
So how did you get these videos then? Because obviously no one, if you're not taking them.
No,
Do you have people that came with you, or?
no. We'd just go there, and we'd generally have Jerome, the booking agent, or tour manager, I guess. There's a couple years he brought his buddy Jan with us, who was just around for shits and giggles, took some vacation time, and then a driver. 2 times it was a guy from Czech Republic, Nick was his name, Nick the Dick. So they got American movies over there, so he saw Bachelor Party.
Okay.
Nick the Dick. Another time was a French guy, a young kid, Biff. He would never tell us his real name. It was probably something like fucking Lucky Pierre or some shit. So he wanted to be called Biff. Like, yeah, I'll call you whatever you want to do.
What's the next one, the Freak Valley?
I think people just everybody's got a phone everywhere, so they just shoot the stuff and it ends up on YouTube, and then
You just find it?
Yeah, and then you just find them.
I think this one has like multi-angles and
This
stuff.
one might have been done by Freak Valley.
Yeah, this one's
Yep,
it.
Freak Valley. I think the guy's name is Jens. So he runs the festival, and he has Rock Freaks, which is also his record label, and they've done as far back as like 2011 or 12, I think, is when they first started. So they would videotape all of them with good sound from the board and stuff. This past 2 weekends ago, they hooked up with Rock Palast, and I think they're just a European production company, and they live streamed all the bands, and now they're getting really good. If you wanted to check those out, just like 2022 Freak Valley.
Nice.
Yeah, the production value has just gone through the roof, and it's really, really, really good.
So cool.
That was the same. That was day 3. That was the one that we played with I Hate God. There were a few bands later.
Oh,
Yeah. That had been 20 years since I was waiting to see I Hate God, and finally got to see him.
I think I saw him at the Target Center. Pretty sure that was down in Minneapolis.
Is that the one
First
with
time I saw-
Pantera?
Yeah.
Yep. I've heard.
I just remember
Tell of
turning
that
around
show.
pointing at the I Hate God on the big marquee behind.
I don't think they were even they weren't even on a poster or anything, right? It was kind of a surprise.
I think so.
That they even-
I wasn't.
I don't think everybody I talked to said they didn't even know they were going to play. Probably Phil Anselmo's idea. He's friends with all those guys. They all do heroin together.
All right, next one. Let's see, Red Smoke.
This was the last time ever we played in Europe.
Oh, okay.
Red Smoke Festival in Poland. So that would have been 2017.
Good lighting.
Yeah.
Now, how'd they get that logo up behind you? I'm just one of those production guys. I like.
Sure. What I noticed since we were going over there, that I was kind of surprised to see it, but you can just load all of your media onto like a JPEG and then give it to the sound guy, and they're not like LED walls or anything, but they're like I don't even understand the technology. That's like our logo or any media that you would have. Like it could be like animations or all kinds of shit, and then they blast it on the wall behind you. They did that at a bunch of venues.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool how they can do that. That one's kind of basic. I've seen some that are like I say, with either animated or maybe some video reels or some stuff. Like, I don't know if did you ever see, did you go to that Pantera show at the Civic years ago? This is 20-some years ago. With
No,
Biohazard and Neurosis?
I did not.
So they did it the old school way, and like the guy was on a little tower with an old movie projector.
Yep.
And he would just show the reels and project it onto the back wall. Well, now it's like science fiction now how they do
Oh
it.
God, yeah, it is.
I don't know how they do that shit, but it's pretty cool.
Oh, it's awesome. That was the last time you played
Yep.
in Europe.
Last time over there.
That's our last video too. So this is pretty nice and destruction driven. You want to see a little juvenile destruction?
I like to break shit.
Okay, there's this week's Off the Roof.
Looks like Mario.
There you go. Why mess around? Just chuck it. That thing's pretty tough. I thought it might have exploded, but
I wish it would have. That was one of our. We use those for
It-
like
it
media
bends.
monitors on. Yeah, exactly. It's one of our media monitors we use on stage, and it finally shit out on us.
so you were happy to chuck it off the roof?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's all it did. So I had to Mario jump it.
Huh. Pretty tough. You must have ruined the screen though, yeah?
Oh, perfect game too. You're hired.
Now you got it. That one's probably not going to work anymore.
Nope. Nope, that made us mad. We're at some, it was actually somebody's graduation party. Their dad forked out for a live band for this graduation party. And one of our big old monitor things just stopped working right when we got started. So, yeah, she went off the roof. But enough of that. So if you got anything out there you want to see destroyed or on stage or anything else, again, we just did a little bathroom thing. So there's going to be some really interesting things going off the roof here in the next few months. We'll just say that. So you can pay attention for that and all that fun stuff. So there we go. Do you have anything left for the good or the order? I mean, you have a lot of killer stories here. We're definitely got to have you back on about this European stuff. Maybe
yeah,
you
I mean,
and Neil and everyone else. I don't.
You'd have to get Neil. It'd have to be pretty quick by the end of July. He's finishing up the last batch. Oh, so we had a large. I'll keep it quick. We had a large batch of El Supremo songs.
Yep.
One of them the first batch got done and is all sent off to the record label already. The last batch he's going to mix up by the end of July, and then he's moving to Montana.
What?
Yeah, moving to Montana.
Losing? No.
Yeah. Yep.
Neil, don't approve. I don't approve.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to ask him about it. So I don't want to tell tales out of school or whatever. But
yeah,
I think the last few years was kind of rough on a lot of people, and he if you've ever been to Montana, it's like, if you're going to move anywhere, Montana's pretty cool. It's scenic as shit.
It seems to be that way. My mom always wanted to move out there.
Yeah.
But, if it's good for you, Neil,
he's from
good
Montana.
For you.
He's from Montana
Are you?
originally, too.
Is
so,
he?
Yep.
God,
I don't remember the exact time. His mom and dad both live out there in different towns, so it's not like he just threw a dart at a board and, Montana. No. But, yeah, he's looking at about the end of July, so.
Okay.
I think it's a bit of a bummer, but
yeah.
Good luck to him.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking too much, and we're online. So, cool. You got anything coming up then?
Gypsy Wizard Queen is going to be at the aquarium on the 5th of August. It's a Friday.
5th of August.
With a band from the cities called Red Desert and a band from Bismarck called Green Boots. The day before, I don't have a lot of info because we don't have it yet, but it's a custom custom van and chopper show in St. Paul at the North Star Bar and Grill.
There we go.
Yep. I don't know who we're playing with. We don't even know yet, but so that's all we got coming up.
Well, that's good. You got a couple dates coming up in August there and everything else. So, how can we get a hold of you if we wanted to?
I mean, you can find El Supremo or Gypsy Wizard Queen on Facebook. I don't have those addresses on the top of my head because I'm a little.
Most of that's linked down below for you right there.
But there's some Bandcamp stuff for El Supremo too if you should want to check that out. I think there's still even an Egypt Bandcamp page. So
excellent.
Check that shit out.
Excellent. You can find us on uptownbandfargo.com. You can also get a hold of us at Uptown Tonight Podcast at Gmail and on all your social medias and all other fun stuff, your Tiki-Taks, your Facebooks, your Snapchats, and all that other fun stuff. Yes. So next week we have John Kennedy. He's going to be our first comedian ever to stage or, I don't know, grace the couch. Maybe
grace
that's
the couch.
Grace the couch down in the old basement here. So we're looking forward to that. And thanks again, Chad, for being on. That was, killer stuff. We got to have you back on talking
anytime,
about
man.
all that stuff. And then just the history through like the metal scene that came up in Fargo.
Sure.
That's been pretty killer.
I don't know a lot of people my age that still do this, so I got like some shit.
Yeah.
From way back when or whatever. So
the wisdom and all that.
Yep.
That comes.
I'll
with
talk
it.
about music all day long. That's cool. Anytime.
It's beautiful. So remember, if your drummer's got more charisma than your front man, your band may be in trouble. But that's why my band's doing just fine. So until next time.
It's just a little baby turtle. Look at him go.